Good morning to you all present over here. Last time we discussed Kingdom Monera and their organisms. Okay. Now, today we'll start from Kingdom Protista. And we already discussed in the starting that term Protista given by which scientist? Ernst Haeckel. So come on that. Kingdom Protista. Before entering into that, first we have to know that the term Protista was coined by Ernst Haeckel. And we know that in the initial period, what was that? First was plant and the next was animal. Okay, so only two kingdoms were there. But some organisms that having problem to keeping in plant kingdom as well as animal kingdom, so they come in new kingdom. And all the in that time all the west organisms come in this. That's why this kingdom also known as what? Dustbin kingdom. It is also known as Dustbin kingdom. And all the organisms having objection to keep in Plantae and Animalia kingdom. Plantae and Animalia kingdom kept in this kingdom. And that's why known as what? Dustbin kingdom. Okay. Now, here one term Protista given by Ernst Haeckel that you have to remember. And which kingdom is known as Dustbin kingdom? So you have to remember that is Kingdom Protista. Now, this is the kingdom which is connecting link. This is the kingdom which is the connecting link among Kingdom Monera and higher kingdom fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Okay, so this kingdom which is acting as connecting link among Kingdom Monera and higher kingdom. What was that? Fungi, Plantae and Animalia. Okay, now Kingdom Monera, what we say in one word? Kingdom Monera is unicellular prokaryotic organisms. So come on that. What is it? Kingdom Monera in one sentence is unicellular prokaryotic organisms, while Kingdom Protista is unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Okay, so kingdom Venera is unicellular prokaryotic organisms and kingdom Protista is unicellular eukaryotic organism. Okay, now this kingdom Protista that already I discussed, it is having what? Now after that it will enter into multicellular organisms. So it is known as ancestor of multicellular eukaryotes. What it is known as? Kingdom Protista is also known as ancestor of multicellular eukaryotic organisms. Okay, each line is your medical questions. This you have to remember, which is known as ancestor of multicellular eukaryotic organisms like plants, animals. Okay, like plants, animals. So which is known as, so that is kingdom Protista. Okay, now the living organisms that belongs to Protista contains some groups. What are the groups are there that we have to see? So living organisms, living organisms belongs to kingdom Protista are. Okay, so what are the groups that belongs to kingdom Protista? Under that, one is chrysophytes. So chrysophytes. One is dinoflagellates. Flagellates. One by one we will see. So one is dinoflagellates. One is euglenoids. Euglenoids. One is slime molds. And one is protozoans. Okay, so these are the groups that comes under kingdom Protista. Okay, now before entering into that, we have to know that what is the general characteristics of kingdom Protista. So come on that general characteristics of kingdom Protista. General characteristics of kingdom Protista. Now, one by one we will discuss. So, first important thing is what? These are unicellular eukaryotic organism, okay, and some forming colonial and some without colonial formation. So, what we can say? First, these are unicellular eukaryotic organisms organisms which may form colony or having different organizational structure. Forms. Okay. So this is what first is unicellular eukaryotic organisms that are having that are forming colony. Okay. Now here organization is still cellular level. So what we can say, organization at tissue level is absent. Organization at tissue level is absent. So what is that? Organization at tissue level is absent. Okay. Now these kingdom protista organisms mostly belong to aquatic. Aquatic means watery nature. So mostly these are aquatic organisms. Mostly these belongs to aquatic organisms. Okay, mostly this belong to what? Aquatic. So here aquatic term you have to remember. Aquatic means they are found mostly in water. Okay, and what we seen, kingdom till kingdom monera, no membrane bound organelles present, but from here membrane bound organelles like mitochondria etc. are present, and ribosome is of ATS type of arrangement. Previous one was this membrane bound organelle was absent, but here it is present, and previously ribosome is of 70S type, but here what? ATS type of arrangement found in kingdom protista. Okay. Now here what happens, flagella and cilia are present, and that is having 9+2 arrangement. What is that? We have to see. Flagella and cilia. These are for what purpose? For movement. So flagella and cilia containing 9+2 celled arrangement. Okay, so complexity starts from the kingdom of protista. So 9+2 pattern of arrangement is there. Okay, or what we can say, 9+2 celled arrangement of microtubule organization. Okay, of microtubule organization. Okay, now here what happens? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, this is 9, and centrally placed 2. Okay, so 9 plus 2 arrangement is found in, and this is linked with what? Microtubule. So that is having what? Microtubule arrangement. Which one is containing this one? 9 plus 2 arrangement. This 9 plus 2 celled arrangement you have to remember, that is found in kingdom Protista. Okay, starts from where? Kingdom Protista. Okay, now these microtubule arrangement that is happening, so that is made up of which protein? That protein you have to remember, that is having tubulin protein. So consisting organization consisting of which protein I told? Tubulin protein. So this tubulin protein you have to remember. Okay, 9 plus 2 arrangement, and that consisting of what? Tubulin protein. Okay, now already what we told, that movement occurs, and movement occurs by what? These flagella, cilia, okay, or sometime pseudopodia also present, but that ciliary mode of movement is fastest. What I told, movement occurs by pseudopodia, cilia, or flagella, but ciliary mode of movement is fastest. The medical question is that which mode of movement in kingdom Protista mostly having fastest? So that is what? Ciliary mode of movement, that you have to remember. So ciliary mode of movement is there. Now if we are discussing regarding with nutrition, so they are containing photosynthetic also, holozoic also, saprophytic also, parasitic also. Okay, so what we can say, mixotrophic movement, mixotrophic type of nutrition they are having. So in kingdom Protista, some mode of nutrition is mixotrophic. Okay, means what? Some organisms are phototrophic, some organisms are this is autotrophic, some are heterotrophic, and under heterotrophic some are holozoic, saprophytic, parasitic, etc. Okay, so these are having which type of nutrition? That is mixotrophic mode of nutrition they are found in. Okay. Now, here some organisms are like photosynthetic as well as heterotrophic parasitic type like Euglena. So Euglena is what? The connecting link between plants and animals. When they are in presence of sunlight, they are making their food on. In that case, what is happening? Autotrophic. When they moving and movement when occurs, they are coming in the shaded area. Sunlight is not present. In that case, they are acting like a parasitic nature. Okay. So in that case, heterotrophic. So Euglena is what? Connecting link between plant and animals. Okay. Now, if we are seeing reproduction mode, so reproduction occurs in kingdom Protista by asexual as well as sexual mode. Okay, so we will see reproduction takes place in kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista. Both is having, one is asexual mode of reproduction and next is sexual mode of reproduction. So both type of reproduction is well known in kingdom Protista. Now, one by one we will come on that. So first come on asexual mode of reproduction in Protista. Asexual reproduction in kingdom Protista. Okay, now asexual means what? Without formation of gametes, without fertilization. Okay, and this is the most common method of reproduction takes place in Protista. So what we can say? This is the most common method found in kingdom Protista. Now, here also having some groups of means some types of asexual reproduction. Under that, first one is a binary fission, like bacteria is doing. So here also happens binary fission. Now, as a term suggests, binary means two. So two daughter cells are formed from the division of one mother cell. So what I am telling, two daughter cells are formed from one mother cell. Okay, so this is the method that happens in binary fission. Okay, now after each daughter cell growth, after each cell, okay, daughter cell grow to a normal organism. So what happens after this? Each daughter cell grows to a new organism. Okay, so this is what binary fission. Now, where it occurs? So that groups we discussed. First, what we told? So dinoflagellates, chrysophytes, and euglenoids. For example, dinoflagellates, chrysophytes, euglenoids, etc. So these groups, dinoflagellates, chrysophytes, euglenoids, they are containing what is the common mode of reproduction? Asexual. So that is binary fission. Now, next important is spore formation under asexual mode of reproduction. So next is spore formation. So next is spore formation. Now, spore formation means one bag-like structures are forming, that is known as sporangium. Inside that, one dot-like structures are forming, that is known as spore. Okay. So what we can say? Some protists have special structure known as sporangia. Why? That bag-like structure. Okay. Inside that, spores are formed. Okay. So what we can say? In some protists, a special structure is formed known as sporangia, and which forms spores inside that. Okay. Now, questions asking spores are formed in special structure. So that is known as what? Sporangia. So sporangia forming spores. Okay. Now, after maturity, what happens? This sporangia burst, and when burst, spores comes out, and these spores forms a new cell after germination. Okay. So what I told, after maturity, sporangia bursts out and spores inside comes out and germinate to form a new daughter cell, which further grows to form a new organism. Okay, so this spore formation mostly takes place in slime molds. So for example, slime molds. Okay, this example you have to remember that which protist having the most common asexual reproduction, and which mode is that? That is spore formation. So that is slime molds. Okay, so slime molds you have to remember. Okay, so till yet what we discussed, asexual reproduction found in kingdom Protista. Now come on, next type, that is sexual reproduction. Sexual mode of reproduction found in kingdom Protista as below. Now, here, what happens? Three mode of sexual reproduction are there. Okay. Now, first time after kingdom monera, what happens? Only genetic material transfer, but actual sexual reproduction start from this kingdom. Okay. And here what happens? Two haploid gametes fuse together to form diploid zygote, and this process is known as syngamy. What I told here, first time sexual reproduction and their actual feature is found. Here, two haploid gametes, male as well as female, found and fuse together to form diploid zygote. What is that? Diploid zygote. And the process is known as syngamy. Process is known as what? Syngamy. Now here, this syngamy is of following types. Syngamy is of following types. What are the types are there? Isogamy, anisogamy, oogamy. Okay. And what are the other things that we will see? So first come on, three types, under which first is isogamy. So first one is isogamy. Now, iso means what? Iso means equal. Okay. So here what happens? It is the easiest mode of sexual reproduction in which both male or female gametes having equal size, shape and structure. Okay. But physiologically, okay, but physiology means functionally may be similar or different, but shape, structure, form must be same. Okay, so what I told, it is the easiest mode. It is the easiest mode of sexual reproduction found in kingdom Protista. Here both gametes, that is male as well as female, male as well as female, are equal shape, size or structure, but physiologically